perfect trap. The crocodile claims the limelight. The others launch in to share center stage and demand a part of the free meal. But the clever trickster does not give up his trophy easily. Sharing may not have been part of his plan, but crocodile law dictates that the spoils be divided. The crocodiles spin to tear the meat away, a tug of war that turns into a neck-breaking job. But all worth it for a cut. No doubt who lords over the river in this valley.
Cheetahs live life in the fast lane. Their light, lithe bodies can reach speeds of over 90 kilometers an hour when they're chasing prey. Few animals can stand the pace. Even fewer can escape. But being at the very top of your game doesn't make you popular with the competition, particularly when you and your rivals are after the same food.
Potential predators do come across each other quite often in the wild, and they really don't tolerate each other. This can happen with lions, hyenas, lions, cheetah, lions and leopard.
This time, it is Bold who lines his sights. No one taught Bold this maneuver. This perfectly executed barrel roll is pure instinct. Bold has passed this test with flying colors, but the family were in this as a team. Can Dougal win his bid for freedom?
As the autumn draws on, the walruses are still refusing to haul onto the beach. Bad news for the polar bear, good news for the walrus. It wasn't always this way. For years, Nikita has been recording these two titans of the Arctic going head-to-head. Normally, tens of thousands of Pacific walruses haul themselves out of the water to rest here. To take on prey this size, the polar bear needs not only strong teeth, but a very large stomach. And that's precisely what it's got for those big meals that make up for leaner times. It can devour up to 45 kilos of blubber in one sitting. Not this time. A full-grown female walrus merely rolls away. Having shooed perhaps smaller prey back into the water, what's left? How about a sick female? But the walrus barely raises a whisker and is rewarded with the warmest bear hug of all. A walrus can weigh 3 times more than a polar bear and is encased in a layer of blubber and skin that's over 15 centimeters thick. Darkness draws out the nocturnal predators. Lila is upwind of the fire. She has picked up the scent of a male leopard in her territory. Her dappled coat provides perfect camouflage amongst the leaves. As usual, the neighbours are on the prowl. Lila escapes to a higher vantage point to survey her territory. She's not the only leopard out tonight. Kubala patrols his hunting ground. But the stalker's being stalked. Drifter's back. Kubala has his sights set elsewhere. But he's not fast enough to save his son from his younger, quicker rival. The older ruler's starting to lose control. Drifter enjoys his poached meal. His intimidation tactics are working. Whilst the rivals scuffle, Lila's been busy.
She quietly assesses the situation and then rushes in to take ownership of the carcass.
In a normal situation, browns and vultures do not compete directly because brown hyenas are nocturnal and vultures are diurnal. There's a very short time in which they overlap, basically competing for food.
The smell of the carcass carries for a long distance over the pans, a pungent smell that would make any hyena's mouth water. 300 kilograms of dead weight is a little difficult to be moved by a 45-kilogram featherweight like Venus. One of her young cubs ventures over the pans. This is the farthest he's ever been from his den.
The cub out on the pan is very confused about what's going on here. He's probably never seen an entire zebra carcass in his life. Just bits of legs and bits of ribs, never the entire thing.
Venus is nervous. She knows that a large carcass like this will attract other scavengers. For Glynn, this is an incredible research opportunity to study the interaction between hyenas at a feeding site and to observe the interaction between hyenas and other scavengers. Soon a third hyena enters the scene. Glynn has met her before. He named her Hopalong. She's Venus's daughter. Even so, Venus is uneasy.
Hopalong is actually Bomb's sister, and she somehow got injured. I haven't worked it out yet, but certainly for her, having immediate access to such huge quantities of meat is very, very lucky.
Having assessed the situation for long enough, the cub cannot resist temptation any longer. He joins in the feast. And Venus returns as well.
3 brown hyenas in situation around a carcass is very unusual. So the whole myth about brown hyenas being solitary dispels. Instantly you see a scene like that. I think Gus Mills said it better. He said with brown hyenas they're basically blatantly solitary but secretly social. And trying to see the secretly social bit is very, very difficult.
Glynn, ever hopeful, checks where the bomb is in the area. But his aerial picks up no signal.
The wolves in the valley have gotten wind of the carcass. The pack is no match for a lion. Ordinarily, a lion will return to its kill for several feedings, especially with eternally hungry kittens in tow. But once the cache has been raided by bears or wolves, its hard work is lost. A pack of wolves can devour the bounty in a matter of minutes, always feeding according to a strict social hierarchy. Wolves have recently been reintroduced to the Yellowstone National Park in the U.S., and are spreading to new areas in the Rockies. This expansion has led to the reduction of coyote numbers, as the wolves will actively kill coyotes that they perceive as a competing predator. With a growing wolf population, there is also a risk that mountain lions will find life harder, as the wolves will effectively steal the precious prey killed by the lion. And in a final gesture of defiance, the wolves add insult to injury.
A Zambezi shark cruises in, bold and confident, large enough to bite the young crocodile in half if they were to meet underwater. But the young crocodile remains on his sunbed. The frenzied mullet are now attacked from all sides. They even become airborne to try to get away. But for some, there is no escape. With great precision, the Zambesis snare a fish at every bite. Shoals of smaller mullet employ the same flying technique to try to get away from the pursuing trevallies. Not wanting to miss out on the action, the young male cautiously slides into the water. He crawls along the bottom, hoping to keep out of the way of any Zambezi shark that might be about. He watches as the other fish chase the mullet this way and that. In contrast, his approach to hunting is a little more laid back. He waits for the fish to come to him, his well-practiced ambush technique. Like all cold-blooded creatures, he doesn't need to eat often, but when the opportunity arises, he gorges to capacity. Over and over, the mullet try to escape the hungry predators. The Zambezi shark targets a shoal of young mullet, powering through the panic-stricken school. A quick turn, and the shark overshadows the crocodile. Aiming for the huge shoals, the shark ignores him. A lucky reprieve for the young male. The Zambezi moves towards the mouth of the estuary, where the mullet are gathering. The tide has turned. Soon it'll be strong enough to carry them out to sea. The attack intensifies as the gulls join from the air. They pick out the fish herded to the surface by the predators which chase them from below.
Being the only lactating female for a bundle of newborns, she needs to play nursemaid, babysitter when the rest of the pack go on a hunt, and guard, protecting the den and her pups from trespassers and possible dangers. As soon as the ceremonial greeting is over, the alpha male moves off. One last glance at his mate, who stays behind. And the pack follows him on the trot. Once the dogs decide to hunt, they move fast. They can easily cover 10 to 20 kilometers in a matter of hours. They spot some prey, and the dogs lower their ears into hunting position. They charge and disperse, each dog hunting for itself. As soon as one pulls down an animal, the dogs regroup to gorge. They tear and gulp down whole pieces of meat, eating fast to finish the kill before any other predator arrives to confiscate their trophy.
On the third morning, the buffalo faces an even worse fate. The Makalolo pride turns up. As usual, it's Laduma who takes the responsibility. To get a good hold on the animal, Laduma will need to reach it without getting stuck herself. If she can, her pride will eat well. Mud makes lions nervous, so she cautiously edges over the sun-baked crust. Even though she could simply start feeding at the soft rump, Laduma seems to want to show the cubs a textbook kill. She can't reach the windpipe. Instead, she holds the buffalo's snout, long enough to bring a quick end. It's a mystery why Laduma chose to go for a traditional kill this time. But she set a new example to her cubs and shown them that they need to take every situation on its merits and think on their feet. This buffalo could have appeared more threatening than we think. If it had struggled, it could have dragged one of the lions into the mud. Maybe by killing it first, Laduma made sure they could eat in safety.